All right, everyone, welcome back to the Business Blast podcast. I'm here today with Michaela Light, author of What Would It Take? And because this is a short show, we'll get right into the questions. The first question I have for you, Michaela, is what's the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Well, I used to live in Maryland in the United States, and my intuition was telling me to go to the Andes in Latin America, and my ego really did not want to go. It was afraid, I don't know anyone there, I don't know what I'll do. But I got on the plane anyway, and as soon as I landed, I had a great time. I was able to run my business remotely, so it all worked out great.
And what's
the message is follow your intuition even when your ego is afraid.
Yes, and that can be tough sometimes. I can relate to that as well. What's the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Well, I think it's this what would it take question, because it lets you get solutions to business problems you're having. You know, if you've got what would it take to grow my profits 10% this month? Your intuition will start giving you answers when you ask that question. And it's very different from asking how will I do something, which gets you lost in the weeds of all that ego and mental stuff instead of connecting to your intuition.
And what's your best piece of overall business advice?
Well, that's a good question. I would say it's balancing joy with profits. When I was younger in business, I was so focused on the money, I didn't pay attention to how happy I was with what I was doing. And now I think it's important you have both. You both have the joy with what you do and you have the profits.
And if you could give your younger self, and maybe this ties in, but if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Relax. All those worries I used to have, most of them never happen. So just relax more. It'll all work out. Doesn't mean you don't plan or figure out contingencies for stuff, but if you spend all your life worrying, it's like a downer.
I agree. And in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
Well, for me, it's creating new stuff. So I love writing books, doing podcasts, dancing, creating art. Anything that's creative brings me happiness. So that's what I think the key to happiness is.
And I'm excited for this next question too then, just because you're so into books and stuff. So what's the best book you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from it?
That is You Can Heal Your Life. It's by Louise Hay. It's a New York Times bestseller. I think it's been on the bestseller list for about 30 years. And the book is supposedly about healing, sickness in your body, which is, a good thing to know. It certainly helped me with that. But I also now see it as a book about our entire life. And the point she makes is that we create our reality. And if I see that in my business, that if I don't like the way my business is, somehow I have got something in me, some beliefs in me that have helped create the business the way it is. So if I want to change my business on the outside, I need to change stuff on me on the inside.
And what's your favorite quote and why?
Favorite quote is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And that's by Marianne Williamson, who is an author, writes on how you can create your life and stuff.
I love that quote too. That's one of my top ones as well. And the last question is, where can people connect with you and find you online?
Our website is intuitiveleadershipmastery.com. And if you can find us on the website. There's also YouTube, podcast. There's a book of that title as well. So just Google for Intuitive Leadership Mastery and you'll find me.
Perfect. Thank you for coming on, Michaela. I really appreciate it, and we will talk with you soon.
Thank you.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.